What's up, dudes? Hey, yo, what's up, dudes? What's up, dudes? What's up, dudes? Hey. What's up, dudes? Oh, God. This lady just saw me do that. What's up, dudes? Anyway, Shay here. My highlight is a little bit too much today. I can tell my nose looks white as a, I don't even know what to compare myself to. Snow bunny, if you will. Well, snow bunnies don't really have white noses. Anyway. What? Back with another video, and today it's all about my king. Yeah. And my queen. You know, you guys ask me all the time how I travel living with animals, and let me tell you something, it is not easy. Whoever says,
oh, traveling with your dogs and traveling with your animals, you can do it, it's a breeze.
You can do it, but I would not at all agree that it's a breeze. But it is fulfilling in ways that you cannot imagine. So the reason I'm making this video today is not only to help the people out that are like, man, how can you possibly travel with dogs, but also to answer the questions from the trolls who are telling me that my van probably smells like shit. Are you telling me that my dogs smell like shit? Because you might be right a little bit sometimes. I take the proper precautions to keep my van from smelling like dog. Okay, let me get my phone because I made notes on how to travel living with dogs. Okay, so let's see here. So I think one important thing to make sure of when you are traveling with dogs, the most important thing, you know, outside of the cleanliness factor, is that you need to make sure that you walk your dogs before you go do anything that involves leaving them in the van for an extended period of time. And that's because, in my opinion, just leaving them in a van all day with no exercise is kind of cruel. I personally feel better if I walk the dogs for 30, 45 minutes before I leave them in the car, because I want them to be tired out. I want them to be exhausted so that they just sleep the whole time that I'm gone, and then they don't even realize that they're in a van, because when they wake up, then mama's home. What's up, dude? I'll take them to like a neighborhood, or I'll take them to any place that I don't plan on leaving the van, because I don't want people to see me walking the dogs and then putting the dogs back in the van and then going to do things. Something that's actually helped me out is that when I leave my van, I leave it on because I have a relay. So you flip the switch down and you can take the key out and you can leave the car with the car on and the key out, so if somebody comes in and tries to break in and steal your car, they can't steal your car, because as soon as they put their foot on the brake, then the car turns off. You can get a relay put on your car by a mechanic. I can't remember exactly how much money I spent on the relay. I want my dogs to be comfortable all the time. They are my children, so they're just as important to me as a human baby, and you wouldn't want to leave a baby in a car that's hot as hell or cold as hell for hours on end. It's just not right. But the next thing that I want to show you guys is, okay, so I have this set up here. I unplugged it all, and I always leave it unplugged when I'm not using it, but this is really important. So what this little doohickey is here is, this is a hotspot. I got it from Verizon. If you get a 2-year contract, it costs you 30 bucks. I think it costs like 130 or 140 if you don't get a contract. It's only an extra $20 added to my phone plan. And so you use this hotspot. This is a Wi-Fi, and you can connect it to this camera that will move up and down. There's different types of cameras. I got this one on Amazon. I think it was like $30, and it'll move up and down. And normally what I have it on its side so that when it moves left and right. So I can watch your little ass, make sure that you're behaving yourself. And I can actually talk into this and talk to the dog. So if King is doing something, Queen does no wrong. So, right, Queen does no wrong. That's my baby. So anyways, if they happen to be acting up, which I've actually had no issues with, I can speak into this and talk to them. Another important thing to have is this carbon monoxide detector. I have to get the batteries changed today, so it's not on because it just died on me. I like to press the test button and make sure that it works. I'm freaking anal, and every single time I leave the van, I make sure it works. Now, you take this and you put it down low. Don't keep it up high. You gotta put it down low so that the carbon monoxide gets detected quickly. I actually learned that on a comment from my van tour from somebody. Thank you to whoever that was, because I didn't know. You're gonna want some sort of inverter battery because you're gonna wanna plug them in. This one does a pretty good job for me. I don't use a lot of power right now because I spend a lot of time in coffee shops doing all of my editing for my videos and all of my business stuff. So there's really not and I like to bring them out of the car as much as I can, and so I bring them to coffee shops, chill outside. Another important tip while living in a van with dogs, as far as keeping things clean is concerned, when you feed your dog, if it happens to eat like a wild animal like King does, I would recommend having a larger bowl and putting a smaller bowl inside when you put the food in. You see, Queen eats like a dainty princess. And King eats like a straight up pig. See the food coming out already? And before you know it, he'll have the entire bowl, or at least half of it, on the ground. Because when they eat, it'll, it'll come off the side of the smaller bowl, but it'll go into the bigger bowl so it doesn't go all over your van. I learned that because one day, King got food all over the van the first time that I fed him in the van, and it's irritating because the little crumbs get in all the corners, and I'm an anal clean freak, so I don't like that. Another important thing to do while living in a van with dogs is to wipe down your furniture and your floors and anything that the dogs touch. Another thing is your sheets. So let me show you what I do with my sheets. I think that it is important to have a sheet. I always have a sheet on top of my covers. So these are my actual blankets that I sleep with. There is no hair on these blankets, and there's hair on this sheet because King lays on the sheet. So I usually wash the sheet once a week, and then I have another sheet underneath here. I have this sheet here, and I'll put it on top of the bed while I'm washing the other one. Another tip is to wash your dogs once a week. Very simple. There are quite a few ways to do this. If you have friends in the area that you are staying, or you have family, you can go wash your dogs in your friends' bathtubs. Are you ready for a bath, Queen Queen? Yeah, you want to get a bath. Come on, let's go. Come on. That means come on. All right, let's go. Can't you tell in his face that he's just having a great time? And then if you don't have the option of a friend or family member's bathtub, you can also go to, there's quite a few pet supermarkets that will allow you to wash your dogs at their establishment. It's usually around $10 per dog, or if you want to get really fancy with it, which I'll usually do once a month or so, maybe once every 6 weeks, I'll take my dogs to the groomer. Then that usually gives me like 3 or 4 hours to go do things and then not be worried about them being in the van. So it's beneficial for me, but it is a little bit more expensive. It usually costs me $50 to $60. Also, what I'll do is wash my dog's blankets and my dog's bed. I always wash my dog's blankets and bed when I wash the sheets once a week, so I'm doing all of my laundry at one time. Oh no! Yeah! Usually once every 2 to 3 days or so, I'll wipe my dogs down with dog wipes. I got some at Ross. You can get them at PetSmart, you can get them at Pet Supermarket, anywhere that sells dog supplies. Now, it might sound like a little extra, but I wipe my dog's feet off every time they enter the van. I have a towel that is on the floor right next to the van, or if it's brand new and clean, I'll hang it over the seat here. Call me crazy, but my dogs never have dog prints on the bed. I hope that these tips were helpful for you. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn those post notifications on so you never miss a beat. Love you guys.